Every year on October 31st, millions of people light candles inside pumpkins, wear masks, and dance with shadows, without asking why. But what if I told you, these traditions weren't created for fun? They were created for protection. What we now call Halloween began as a sacred night, a moment when the veil between the living and the dead was thin. And every symbol we use, from the jack-o'-lantern to the mask on your face, was once a weapon against the dark. Long before Halloween parties and candy bowls, there was Samhain, the ancient Celtic festival marking the end of harvest and the start of the dark season. To the Celts, this wasn't just a change in weather. It was the moment when spirits walked the earth. Fires were lit on hilltops, believed to protect the living from wandering souls. People dressed in animal skins and masks, not to celebrate, but to disguise themselves from evil. Imagine that the first Halloween costumes were camouflage for the spirit world. But the question is, what were they so afraid of? In ancient Europe, masks were sacred. They were worn by shamans, priests, and warriors. To put on a mask was to become something else, human and spirit, alive and dead. During Samhain, villagers wore crude, terrifying masks made of bone and leather. They believed if spirits wandered the night, a good disguise could fool them into thinking you were one of their own. The mask wasn't a costume, it was protection. Today, we wear masks to entertain, but once, they were worn to survive. Think about that the next time you see a child dressed as a ghost, they're reenacting an ancient ritual thousands of years old. The pumpkin, Halloween's most famous symbol, began with a man named Stingy Jack. According to Irish legend, Jack tricked the devil, but when he died, heaven and hell both refused him. Condemned to wander the dark, he carried a glowing ember inside a hollowed-out turnip to light his way. When Irish immigrants came to America, they found pumpkins bigger, brighter, easier to carve. And so Jack's cursed lantern became the jack-o'-lantern we know today. But the deeper truth? The light wasn't just for decoration, it was meant to guide lost souls and keep the evil ones away. The phrase, trick or treat, might sound modern, but its roots are ancient too. In medieval Europe, the poor went door to door offering prayers for the dead in exchange for food, a ritual called souling. They believed generosity toward the poor could protect their families from restless spirits. Over centuries, the meaning twisted. The prayers became jokes, the offerings became candy, and what began as a sacred exchange turned into a sugar-fueled game. But what if the treat was never about sweetness, but about survival? Every fire lit on Halloween night symbolized more than warmth. It was a beacon for the ancestors. Flames were believed to guide their spirits home, so families left out food and drink for them. The fire also served another purpose, to burn away what didn't belong, the spirits that brought sickness, bad harvests, or death. Halloween wasn't just about ghosts. It was about balance, life and death, darkness and light. Somewhere along the way, the meaning was lost. The sacred turned spooky. The spiritual turned commercial. When Christianity spread across Europe, the church couldn't erase Samhain. It was too deeply rooted. So they rebranded it. November 1st became All Saints' Day, and the night before, All Hallows' Eve. Over time, All Hallows' Eve became Halloween. But beneath the Christian calendar and modern costumes, the old symbols remained, silent reminders of the night when humanity faced its fears and honored its dead. Today, Halloween is all lights, laughter, and horror movies. But for our ancestors, it was a time to remember that death is not the end, it's a doorway. The masks, the lights, the offerings, they all carried one truth: that the world of the living and the dead are closer than we think. So this Halloween, when you carve that pumpkin or light that candle, remember, you're not just celebrating. You're participating in one of the oldest human rituals in history. The symbols of Halloween weren't born from fear, they were born from faith, from our desire to protect, honor, and connect with what lies beyond. So, the next time someone says Halloween is just a night for costumes, it's the spark of ancient fires still burning in our modern world. Because every mask we wear, every flame we light, is history, wearing itself like a crown. If you learned something new tonight, don't let it end here. Subscribe to History in My Skin, where we uncover the stories the world forgot.